That interview we promised, where Ibrahim Karanja engages Nakuru Governor Lee Kinyanjui on Jubilee Party politics, the handshake, and the positioning of Nakuru County. Are there plans to start a new party? Are there plans to even start a new party? Let's listen in to that interview, one-on-one exclusive with the Governor of Nakuru, Lee Kinyanjui, and my colleague Ibrahim Karanja. Over to you, Ibrahim.
Well, for one known for being subtle in every political approach or any political engagement that he's been taking in the past, Governor Lee Kinyanjui has in recent days come out as a man who's taking head-on any challenge thrown his way. And in the recent couple of days, he has brought conversations that many would say would weigh 50-50. That is according to different people looking at it from different perspectives. But what exactly informs the moves and the conversations being taken by the second governor for Nakuru County? We have the pleasure of hosting Governor Lee Kinyanjui with us. And Governor, thank you so much for speaking to us. We'll head straight into this conversation. And 10 months into the next general election, it is only fair if we start having the political conversations that we are seeing in the country, conversations which you have not shied away from in the past couple of days. And I'll start with your party, the Jubilee Party, in which you're a member. A party that has been seen by many people and actually been described as a party that is sort of sinking in terms of losing membership, losing popularity. We are seeing its members jumping ship. But so far, you have not made any indication whether you'll be still sticking the party or not. Are you still clinging on a sinking ship or perceived sinking ship?
Okay, I think it's good to confirm first that the election we had in 2017, we vied on a party for 5 years. That 5 years will be lapsing in the next election. So as we go to the next election, we'll make the best decision based on what we believe in, the manifestos that are there. But I think it is also not a secret that we've had serious challenges on how the party has been managed. Is been monopolized by really two individuals who, in our view, will face no electorate. They are fully paid, expenses paid. One is sitting in the cabinet, also paid to be the SG of the party. But successfully, we have lost everything we wanted to do. And so the party is held hostage by those very unfortunate interests. But I think having said that, as the time approaches, we shall consult our people. And we shall be able to get what best reflects what we believe in. And but I think it is also very clear that we support the handshake. I think it should be very clear that when you say you're not in Jubilee, it doesn't mean you're in some other party. We also have capacity to start our own party with our own people and also carry the aspirations of our people moving forward. So that is where we are.
Well, 2 months, roughly about 2 months ago, in a presser, you actually named these two individuals about in the Jubilee Party who said will not be facing the electorate. You talked about Secretary General Raphael Tuju and David Murade, and actually said that they had at that time that they have to go because you'll be the ones to face the electorate. Are you satisfied? Do you think there has been any initiative so far which is satisfying to sort of give you, as members of the Jubilee Party and those who are actually facing the electorate, confidence in still working with the party?
I think confidence levels are generally low, but I think it's also good to agree. Since multi-party politics, we have not had one party into two elections. We had TNA, then we had Jubilee, we'll have another configuration. Before that, we had NAC, then you had PNU. So the reality of Kenyan politics is like fashion. No party goes for 2 seasons. So even Jubilee, even if it's to come back, has to reconfigure itself and find a way of working. But the truth is that confidence levels have been going down significantly. And you have no confidence in Tuju, not even for 1 minute. You know? So the point is, from where we sit, sometimes it's not just about my personal view, but I interact with people every day, my MCAs, aspirants, ordinary wananchi, and the actions they see with respect to how the party is managed. I think it would be very difficult to say that we're happy. And notwithstanding all the subsequent failures, the fact that we have not had significant change at the top, then I think also we have a problem that must be dealt with. But I think for us, we are not stuck on a party. We are only stuck with our people. That's the only contract we have.
The conversation, Governor, you're bringing about the people, it's a conversation that we are seeing also other politicians in the country bringing, especially at a time when they want to sort of move or bolt out from where they are. It's a conversation we have seen happening in Kirinyaga County, that we'll talk about what the people will tell me is what I'll do. You're also, interestingly, bringing up the conversation of what the people will say. Yet you're again talking about the handshake. So where do you really lie?
We can be in any party within the handshake. The handshake is not a party. It's like a whole umbrella. It will have ODM, it will have many other parties, but within it, there are many parties we can work with. And like I said, many others are also being formed. So we look at what best works for us, but within the handshake framework.
Yeah. Well, you have been, in the recent couple of days, you have opened doors literally to, from Nakuru County to every other national political leader. We have seen yesterday, we saw Kalonzo Musyoka here. We also saw Raila Odinga the previous day, Musalia Mudavadi. You've also hosted Governor Alfred Mutua. Actually, you've also attended functions at, by the Deputy President. What is your game plan with all this, opening of doors? Kalonzo Musyoka, Raila Odinga, Musalia Mudavadi. What is your game plan, Governor Lee?
Okay, you see, the point is whoever will become president will be president also for the people of Nakuru. So it is important that they also know what we believe in, what we stand for, and the important things to the people of Nakuru. Matters of peace, matters of reconciliation, inter-ethnic harmony, security-related issues are issues that everybody who's going for the top position must know about Nakuru. Then secondly, we have also said that historically, Nakuru has been the launching pad for everything. But we are not there finally when the government is being formed. So we also want to change the equation and say whatever the eventual permutation that we shall have, Nakuru must be there. And I think that is not something, we don't just to go around saying we are together, yet in the eventual scheme of things, we are not there. So how do I explain, as I've always said, no ministers, all these things have not been there in Nakuru. So how can we face the next election blindly? Just following people without asking tough questions. So I think for all those who have come and others that will continue to come, the issue of blindly following anybody will not happen. We have to ask tough questions. What do you have for our people? What do you have in terms of security for our people and property? All those issues that are important also to our people must be made clear. So it's not just about sloganeering, giving people T-shirts and coming here with big speakers and people follow you. No. I think this time round we must change the conversation to what is important to our people. It's about investments that our people have made in the timber industry that we also need address. Those issues must be discussed. So the issue of blinds following, I think, will not allow that to happen.
Yet despite hosting all these national leaders who are potential presidents in the next election, 2 days ago you made a statement sort of to affirm that you'll be having support for the ODM leader, Raila Odinga, especially at Afinuli said, to quote you verbatim, that you voted in 5 or 6 elections and you've never voted for Raila Odinga, and you see that changing. And many would say, especially for this particular region, looking historically, that Raila has not really enjoyed massive support from this particular region. Many would say that the position that Governor Lee took perhaps was not the right decision at that particular time. What do you say to that? I'm sure you've gotten the different reactions from your statement.
I stand by my decision. The role of a leader is not to follow people. It's also to show people where to go and to give reasons why you want that to happen. And I think from now moving forward, we'll have those conversations. This is where we think our interests would best be catered for. And I have said, I see myself. So it's a process. It's not a lock, close and shut kind of conversation. Even them, they have to demonstrate certain things with respect to our region. But so far, they have demonstrated they have potential to win. Beyond winning, we also believe issues that are important to Nakuru, they would also be able to articulate. I think that's a conversation that we need to have as we move forward. But I think it is also clear that the people of Nakuru are not poor people. We have said that. They're hard-working people. So all that we need is our industries to work, our agriculture to work, our pyrethrum to work, our milk, our dairy to work. So we are looking at all those issues, and that's what we want to put on the table. Yeah.
Well, when you say that you look at what every presidential candidate will be having for your people, Governor, you And historically, Nakuru has been voting in line with Central Kenya, all the counties from Central Kenya. And these demands, coming from Central Kenya, have been there for some time. We saw you, amongst other leaders converging in Meru. Actually, you were the one who gave a statement by that time with Akina Governor Peter Munya, Akina CS Peter Munya, Governor Nderito Mureithi of Laikipia. What exactly do you need for Mount Kenya, even as leaders head towards the next general election? And mindful at the same time that some residents of Nakuru might not be feeling or associating with Mount Kenya politically.
I think first, everybody comes from somewhere. There's a huge section of people who are in Nakuru who also come from, originally, ancestrally, came from that place. That is not something we can run away from. Whenever we have had problems on the Baringo side and all those, we've also gone there. I was actually there on Saturday because there are peace and reconciliation issues that also affect those people. So I don't come from a monolithic kind of a county where you have people speaking all in one voice. That's not the case. And I have to be sensitive to all these people and where they come from. But I think it is also true that for a long time, we have heard the voice from the mountain, but also the mountain can hear the voice from us. So we can also reverse the equation where we say, fine, let the wave also begin from here. Those are the conversations that we also need to have. And I think also moving forward, you cannot bargain alone in politics. And I think anybody who thinks they can win alone, it's just a lie. It can't work. In fact, no single party can garner more than about 30%. So we need more and more people to come together and eventually to create one galaxy that they can now be able to face elections with. So likewise, you also want to get like-minded on issues that are together and find a way of bargaining. So that's what the people in that region are simply trying to do. And I think it is not new. It's been done in other places, and therefore it should not be demonized. It's just part of the normal political formations that we normally have.
Yet your stand, Governor, would appear selective, owing to the fact that, yes, you're fighting for the interest of the people in the county who associate with Mount Kenya, just like you're fighting for the other people. And again, you have opened doors, like we said earlier, to every other leader in Nakuru County. Yet something really big about Mount Kenya happened in your county this week. That is the Mount Kenya Unity Forum in Naivasha, the Martha Karua, Moses Kuria group. And we didn't see you in Naivasha perhaps to welcome them because, one, you share, I would say you share the same agenda in terms of knowing what is on the table for the people from the mountain. And secondly, also in the spirit of opening doors for everyone. You sort of gave an arm's length to that particular meeting.
Okay, you see, unity by any language is still unity. So whoever speaks it, wherever they are, we are all speaking the same thing. So, and it is not possible for us to be in all the meetings all the time. When you were there, maybe one of them was not there. When in the other meeting, maybe one of them was also not there. So I don't think we are in any way contradicting that conversation on unity. That eventually, once we settle, we shall go as a team. Then secondly is that the Mount Kenya region is in a very unique situation. In the past, their focus was on the presidency. So sometimes they ended up even electing MCAs, closing their eyes. They also elected members of parliament without much scrutiny because their main focus was on the top. And there actually was a study that was done on the seriousness or the importance attached by communities to the different positions. So you find in areas like Northeastern Province, the most important city is actually the MCA. That's the person they are with every day. But in Central, their main focus was on the top. So this Turaku movement was all about the top. But now that that is not there, you must find another conversation that you can now bring. That though you are not focusing at the top, what else can you be able to focus and still have one consciousness within the region? So I think it will take time. It's not something that will happen in a day. The elections are about 10 months away. So it will evolve. It will take deep. But I can assure you, as we are on the final stretch, maybe 3-4 months to election, everything will be very clear. And just to confirm that even in previous elections, if you do 10 months to 2013 elections or even 2017, we normally don't have clarity. It's 10 months to time. But as we get closer, things now become a little bit clear. And so I think the myth you see at this stage is expected. I heard some people saying that when I said I would consider Raila, the ODM leader, so they said I'm going to ODM. Now, that's not the case. You know, parties will finally form coalitions. So we'll have coalition A and coalition B. So within coalition A, their candidate will be Mr. A and so on and so forth. So it doesn't mean, if you look at even NASA in the last election, they had Kalonzo as their running mate. He had not gone to ODM. And then you had Raila as a presidential candidate. So I think it's also myopic to look at, when you say that you will talk to so-and-so, you want to go to their party. I think the reality of our constitution today and the threshold for succeeding in any election is so high, no party can win. So you have to bring the viraka tofauti and now make the full government for you to be able to face the election. So there'll be inter-party conversations, inter-communal conversations, and really this is something that will have to go on. There'll be a lot of tea to take, a lot of coffee to take before we can have clarity on all these issues.
Mm-hmm. How do you relate with Deputy President William Ruto right now, politically?
He's the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. Every time he's come here, we've given him or accorded him all the honors of our Deputy President. We may not be in the same political consciousness now, but I think politics goes beyond that. He's a leader within Rift Valley, so whenever we have issues of common interest, we shall communicate, and we are able to find solutions together. But politically, I would not say that we are in the same boat.
Yeah, because what informs that question is your sentiments at the funeral in Elpagon, where you said that as Mount Kenya region and in Nakuru, you are going to remember those who are with you.
Yes.
You are going to remember those who supported, for instance, the BBI because it meant better or a larger allocation for the people of Nakuru, bigger representation. And clearly the Deputy President and his brigade were not supporting. Well, he never said it clearly, but you could pick it even after the BBI was dropped. Many would argue that in that particular statement, you're passing a message to William Ruto that he should not expect support from this particular region.
Well, Nakuru was to get 5 constituencies. We were to get 9 billion more to the people of Nakuru, to help in bursaries, to help in roads, water, build markets and all that. So, do you think I would sit here and support any move to deny Nakuru better? I would not. Certainly I cannot. And I have also said it that Nakuru stood to gain all these things. So if you support us in that, then you are a friend. If you also don't support us on those things, if, for example, Naivasha has 150,000 registered voters, then you have another constituency with 20,000 registered voters. So you tell us, let us remain status quo. Okay? I mean, that's not in the interest of Nakuru. Me, I'm here to fight for the rights of the people of Nakuru. If Naivasha would have had 2 more constituencies, Bahati, Nakuru East and so on, Nakuru West, then that would have served the people of Nakuru. So, I mean, it's an ideology, you know, I am here to fight for the best of Nakuru people. And whenever anybody goes against those interests, then we can't be friends. Even today, I've talked about my own party. If a seat that was meant for the marginalized Ogiek people, if also they don't honor that and take it elsewhere, how can I now be complimenting them for such? So I occupy this position in trust on behalf of the people of Nakuru. So any interest that goes against the people of Nakuru, I cannot support it. Yeah.
What do you take of the recent moving of leaders from your party? I'm sorry I'm taking you back, but we have seen, for instance, Governor Waiguru, you were with her in the quest to sort of fight for the interest of Mount Kenya. We saw yesterday the clearest indication yet that she'll be jumping ship. Other leaders also have for the Jubilee Party and specifically to UDA. What do you make out of this movement?
Well, I wouldn't want to comment about Kirinyaga or any other county for that matter, just out of mutual respect. I would want to contain my conversations within Nakuru or a general Kenyan sort of conversation, but it would be disrespectful for me to comment on her actions. However, the party has not begun. You cannot make decisions now. And in fact, you'll be in a situation whereby you move from one ship to the other, then you find where you left and where you're going coming together tomorrow. Where will you go? So there's time to do those things. So there are still lots of tectonic movements that are going on now. The earth has not settled. Okay? Ideologies have not come out very clearly. Even candidates. How many candidates have declared so far? Very few. So this is certainly not the time for party movement. And but I think we respect anybody's decision. I am not there to say what Jubilee thinks about her move or not. But I think at a personal level, I think this is a time to listen to your people, listen to whatever. And if you are bold like myself, don't jump ship, build a ship. Yeah.
Build a ship, and that conversation, Governor, is a conversation that many people from Nakuru would be asking. You mentioned that this particular county has been voting in line with Central Kenya. That is true, but sort of the benefits, and by the benefits I mean what people look at, what they can see, say cabinet appointments from this particular region and other benefits, have not really been coming. And we are seeing some people from Nakuru talk about now forming their own party so they can be equal on the table. Is it something you consider?
Yes, yes. That definitely is a way to go. Yeah. That's the only way you gain respect. Yeah. You know, I mean, you have, as a region, you can negotiate, you can say, fine, we are coming, this is what we want. So, I mean, that is certainly in the cards. Yeah. And Nakuru cannot be... is a 1 million plus county in terms of registered voters. Sure. We can't be called to come with stay sort of understandings by other, you know, we can't. Yeah.
Well, Governor, when I was doing this particular introduction, I said that over time you have been known to be subtle and taking your time in observing before making movements. But in recent days you have come across as sort of a very tough leader who takes every challenge thrown his way head on. I'll say this from the very many functions that we have seen in which you have openly collided with other leaders, perhaps telling them how they should not help Nakuru choose their leaders. And many are wondering, this is not the Lee Kinyanjui perhaps they used to know in the years that, the 3 years that you've been at the helm of the county. Why do you have that change of say person, and do you think that perhaps that will earn you a re-election?
First of all, you know, I think the book of Ecclesiastics, I don't remember the verse, they say there's time for everything. So when you're in year 1 in office, that's when you do your planning up to year 2. Then by year 3, your projects are rolling out and so on and so forth. So you require certain skills at certain times. But right now is when Kenyans are planning to go to election. Therefore, I'm interested in a peaceful election. I'm interested in the people of Nakuru making the right choices at all levels. 2, I'm interested in a peaceful election. So that one I cannot compromise. Irrespective of the party, I have to put my foot down. Thirdly, if I'm to negotiate on behalf of the people of Nakuru, if I'm also weak, then Nakuru gets nothing. So you also have to, you have to haggle. I mean, in the national space, everybody wants something here and there. The population in Nakuru is like 5 counties combined in some parts of this country. So if we just keep here and we are gentlemanly, what will the people of Nakuru get? So I think it's also true that we must, and part of that attitude is what informs where we are today. So we must change our mien, we must change our approach, and demand that which belongs to Nakuru. And if there'll be ministers and PSAs and all those things to come to Nakuru, they'll come to our people. They'll come to anybody from the largest section of Nakuru. If there will be more constituencies that the BBA gone through, they will not come to me as a person. So I think all you're trying to say is that that which belongs to us, we have an obligation. That's why we are paid. We are paid so that we represent our people in whatever national conversations. So that's where we stand.
Aside from the national conversation, let's talk about local politics, because even in local politics, you have been very firm in recent couple of days. For instance, you have not minced your words when addressing the Nakuru County Senator, who has also expressed interest in your seat. That has brought a very tough Lee Kinyanjui. What informs that?
I don't recall ever having addressed her. I address issues, not her person, isn't it? She's our daughter here. I mean, we have no problem with her, but we deal with issues. I mean, if, for example, we say we don't want people out to come and decide for us here, It's not how I'm addressing. It's the issue, it's the principle upon which we want to work. So if we say we want people to respect the church and don't bring church in politics, actually you have seen even now the bigger churches have now agreed with what you were saying then. So it's not how we are addressing, it's her behavior and some of those things. But as a person, we have no issues. We have no conflicting sort of interests.
As we wind up this conversation, Governor, will you be seeking re-election as Nakuru County Governor? And if yes, what is it that you expect? Perhaps you want to take this opportunity. What is it that you'd count on? What would you ask the residents of Nakuru to now look at what, this is what I've done and this is why you should give me another 5 years?
Okay, so I think the first thing to confirm is we'll be launching our re-election campaign in December. Between now and December, we want to expedite on many of the projects that are ongoing and are dear to the people. In the meantime, we shall also look at the movements within the national space and how we can be able to align ourselves and also to confirm where we can get the best for our people. But in terms of what conversation we'll be having with the people of Nakuru, we'll simply be asking them. For example, we have built hospitals across most of our sub-counties, and the two that we haven't built, we have already set aside money. Most of these hospitals ranged from about 150 million, and others maybe up to 300 million. All this is done with county money, no loan, in 8 of our sub-counties. So I think the first thing is prudent management of our resources. If there's no wastefulness, we can be able to do a lot of things. So in terms of our blueprint, I think the best thing is when you're doing our launch, you shall do that. Soon we'll be having a State of the County address. We shall also outline some of the things we've done. But in terms of our manifesto for the other 5 years to come, I think we have experts in all the relevant fields, from communication to strategy, and they're putting up all that. So we'll be able to share with the public at the right time.
Thank you so much, Governor Lee Kinyanjui. Thank you for this opportunity. Well, Governor Lee Kinyanjui, the governor, Nakuru County's second governor, he has said that he will be launching his re-election bid in December, so certainly looking for a second term as governor here. He also says that he'll be deep in that conversation in matters the national leadership and actually asking about the tough questions of what is in for my people in this particular side. That has been this conversation. My name is Ibrahim Karanja, coming to you from Nakuru County.
Thank you, Ibrahim Karanja, for that exclusive interview with Lee Kinyanjui, the governor for Nakuru County. Meanwhile, as first-time governors fight to secure their second term, some of counties are slowly changing to be